Greetings, everyone. It's me. I have a guest that is, well, you know what? She is phenomenal. And actually, was nominated as one of these wonderful people in one of the legislative districts. So with tonight, we're going to talk about Medicare and you, Medicare/Medicaid and you. I want you to make sure that you are listening. You have a pencil and paper or ink pen and paper, because these are some information that she's going to share with you, some information that is very important for you, especially those that are going into retirement and those that are already in retirement and those that know people that are going into retirement and what Medicare is and what it is not. So I want to introduce to you Miss Cherita Odums, and she's in the
O Insurance Group. Yes.
Yes, the O Insurance Group, and she's going to share some stuff with you. So Cherita, how you doing?
Hi, Miss Christina. How are you?
I'm great, sweetie.
Listen,
good. I really want, Medicare and how seniors are treated and stuff and all that stuff is very important to me.
I know.
And so, and so I just wanted you to I'm going to turn over most of the program to you, because I want you to have the opportunity to share with some of our listeners what Medicare, what Medicaid is, what some of the acronyms are, and talk about some of those nagging phone calls that seniors find themselves in the middle of, and being flim-flammed or whatever into policies and stuff that they don't want. So give us a little bit about what you do, where you are, and all that kind of stuff, and let's get right into it.
Okay. Well, my name is Cherita Odums. I own the O Insurance Group, LLC. It will be 5 years that I've been on my own, but 25 years that I've been in this business. 5 years on April 9th, actually.
Yay!
So it'll be 5 years that I've been doing this on my own. I've been doing this because it's my passion, seniors are my passion, and I just want to make sure most of the time that they have exactly what they need and get exactly what they need. Everybody in this business does not feel the way I do, and that's why we have as many problems as we have. First of all, I want to say that this was probably, in all the years that I've done Medicare and I've been doing AEP, which is our open enrollment period, I have to say that this was the most challenging that we've ever had, because of the phone calls and the commercials and all the things that are going on. So, and because of the pandemic, we couldn't really come out and educate the way we would normally educate either, which made it worse. So then the television became the educator. Okay.
Wow.
I wanted to first start off by telling everybody that all open enrollment is now closed unless you have a special election period. If you don't have a special election, you're stuck in your plan until October 15th is when you can change to December 7th, and then a new plan wouldn't be effective to January 1st, 2023. But there are a lot of special election periods. One of them being Medicaid, another being if you have extra help or low income subsidy. You can change all of these special elections. You can change the plan during the course of the year. If you just left your job, if you move from one state to another, PACE or PACE-NET, and there are other special election periods, but we also have, for the first time in our area, we have a 5-star plan, and that is Keystone 65. And having a 5-star plan, you can change to that. You can do that once a year. You can actually do that leave where you are and go there if you wanted to. Okay.
Wow.
There hasn't been a 5-star plan in this area ever until this year. So
wow.
And what that means is that, just so everybody understands, that means that if you become a 5-star plan, the government pays you more money to take care of everyone. They're going to get more money, and they're going to magnify their benefits. So even though their benefits are what they are for this year, in 2023, they're probably going to be a lot better, because they're going to have the money to do more.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's stop right there, because you're losing me a little bit. So you're saying that if I am in Cigna, I could go over to Keystone 65. Why would I want to do that?
Well, you wouldn't necessarily want to do that. There's nothing wrong with the plan that you currently have. But if you switched over, if you decided that it was something you didn't like about Cigna, let's just say that I don't like this anymore, I don't want to deal with this anymore, then if you said to me, well, where could I go? I could say, well, the only place you could really go right now is you could actually go over to Blue Cross to Keystone 65 if you chose to, because it's a 5-star plan.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to move over. over if you choose to.
Okay. Yes.
But Aetna also has one, but it's a network situation with them. They have it in Vantra, so their network is smaller. But the main one is Keystone 65, which is a major. I don't know what their benefits are going to look like for 2023, but I can guarantee you they're going to be probably very, very good. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Medicare Advantage versus a Medicare supplement plan, because people don't really understand the difference. So Medicare Advantage is an HMO or PPO. Okay. Now in our area where we are, our HMOs right now, we don't even have a plan in our area that's an HMO that has a referral. But in other areas, they do have referrals. Okay. So a Medicare Advantage plan gives you everything that Medicare gives you. It adds on additional benefits and includes your prescription drug coverage. Everything is in one plan with a Medicare Advantage plan. Everything. Okay, and that's the majority of most of the people in Philadelphia that I deal with actually have a Medicare Advantage. Okay, the other one is the Medicare supplement plan. So with a supplement, you have Medicare, and Medicare pays 80% of the approved amount, and then you get the supplement, and the supplement will cover your 20% co-insurances and things like that. But you do not have prescription drug coverage. You do not have dental or vision or anything like that. So once you buy supplement, you have to buy prescription drug coverage, and if you want dental and vision, you have to buy a dental and vision plan as well. Now, some people like the supplement plan better because when you go to the doctor now, there's no co-pays and there's no anything. You just show them the supplement, your Medicare card, your supplement card, and you don't pay anything. But remember that supplements, they usually start off, I would say, around $140 or so a month, and then as you get older, they will continue to go up whether you use the plan or not. And if you can afford it, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's your choice. But you can. But a lot of people opt to go with the Medicare Advantage plan because they can't afford it or they just think that the Advantage may be better. So whatever you decide, I do both. So whatever one you decide to do is fine. Okay. Now Medicare Part A, Part A you get because you work for 10 years in this country. That's 42 quarters. You get Part A. Part B is 100, and this year it's 170. I think it's 171.10 for Part B this year. Part B went from $144 up to the $171.
Is that what comes out that will come out of your Social Security check?
That's what comes out your Social Security check.
Oh,
now,
that's horrible.
When you see on the commercials and they say Medicare Part C is the Medicare Advantage plan.
Oh.
People don't understand that. They just start saying Part C, and people think they don't have it. But to educate you, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, then you have Part C already, okay?
Oh,
and
yes.
Part D of Medicare is the prescription drug coverage, which is all. So in other words, Medicare A, B, and D are all in C.
Oh, so let me understand this. So if we got a little bit of static, at least I can hear it. But if I have Medicare, I have A, B, and D, and C is my Advantage plan.
No, if you have Medicare, you have A and B. But if you have Cigna, which you said you have, then you have the C. And D is all in C. A, B, and D are all in C.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then we're going to talk about these outbound calls. The ones that come on TV, Jimmy Walker, Joe Namath, Danny Glover, and they say, okay, well, let's see if we can save you money, if we can give you money back in your check. And they say, call us right now, and you can find out. All we need is your zip code. So you call, you give your zip code. And I'm going to say this in the Philadelphia area. Most of the time, if you are a person that cannot afford to pay your Part B, most of the people in our city already have extra help or have some type of Medicare savings plan to help them. But they'll call the number and they'll do what they need to do. But what may happen during that call is they start asking you all this other information, just reading little questions to you, asking like they're having a regular conversation with you. And you hang up and they may not talk to you about your doctor, your prescriptions, or anything. And by the end of the month, you got a new card in the mail because they've changed your insurance.
Wow.
So people must understand that when these outbound calls, when you call them, if you call them, you cannot give them all your information. It is very important that you don't. It's actually very important because these people, and when you try to call back, and this happened with a lot of my clients, they called them and talked to them and thought that they did the right thing, tried to call them back, and they couldn't get them back on the phone. And
right, because it's outbound only. It's
right.
outbound only.
Right, and then they tried to call me back. Okay, so I always tell everybody just be careful. Do not look at the TV and say, "Oh, I'm gonna save this money." If you have an agent, call your agent to find out if you qualify for a Medicare savings plan. Any agent that does this every day should know that. Okay, I'm going to talk about the inbound call. Inbound call, so they call you on the phone and they're talking to you and they're trying to get you to talk. Finally, they may bait you into having a conversation with them. This happened to a couple of my clients too, and they baited them into saying things and talking to them, had them on the phone for a long time because they might have had a complaint about their current plan. And they kept talking, and the next thing you know, they got a new card in the mail.
Wow.
And now they're enrolled in the plan. And remember, if they don't check your doctors, they don't check your prescriptions, all the plans don't have the same prescription coverage. All the plans don't have all the doctors in it. So you always have to realize that it truly could be a scam. It really could put you in a bad situation because some people cannot change after they change their first time. So
regardless of whatever the issue is, and they called and said that that they really didn't want this, but they have it. Is it like, well, it's too bad, you would have to wait until the next enrollment?
You would normally have to wait until the next enrollment. Now, if you really call up to Medicare and you really say something to them, they may work with you. But Medicare and Social Security is usually kind of inflexible in a lot of things. But if you're willing to report the agent and all of that kind of stuff, they might actually take the complaint. But they don't have to. They can say wait until the next enrollment period.
Wow.
So that is why it's so important that you don't the inbound calls, feel free to hang up, feel free to block them, or whatever you do. So one of my other suggestions for the inbound calls and the outbound calls, well, outbound calls you call. So if it's inbound, you can get the phone number and the agency that they're calling from and write it down and report it to OIG, which is the Office of Inspector General. And I have that number at 1-800-447-8477. Now, if they refuse to give you information when you're talking to them, you know it's a scam. And make sure you don't give them your information. And for any company to give you a quote, because they'll say, well, let's give you a quote. Let's find out your information. So if they're going to give you a quote, they should only be asking you for your date of birth and your zip code. They do not need your Medicare number. That number on that Medicare card, they do not need it. If they ask you for that, trust and believe they're trying to enroll you in something else.
Wow.
Okay? So make sure, if you want to find out what the quote could possibly be, if you can save money or anything like that, the only thing you should have to give them is your date of birth and your zip code. If you give them anything other than that and you start giving out Medicare numbers and all that kind of thing, then they're working on changing your plan. And you have to be very, very careful because I don't understand why they haven't stopped the calls. I mean, there's so many complaints about the calls. I would have thought they would have started doing something to stop it, but they haven't as of yet. And my biggest suggestion for it all is that everybody should have their own personal agent to answer all your medical questions and your concerns. If somebody came out to your home and enrolled you,
we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we have a little technical difficulty and we're going to come back with Cherita Odums. This is Dr. Christina Williams from the Primetime Power Show from a woman's perspective. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. We having a storm, and so we have to always be prepared to come back or be able to cut it short. However, we're back with Cherita Odums of the O Insurance Group, and she was telling us a lot about Medicare and a lot about those phone calls that you're receiving, or if you call out to one of the companies that you see on TV or you hear on the radio, you take the number and you call, and how important it is that you understand that they might not be who they say they are, and they might be enrolling you in something that you do not want to be enrolled in, and you might not be able to change it until the next enrollment period. So you want to be real careful about what it is that you do when you call up on those phones. And when somebody calls you, my best thing is when I have a call that's coming in and I don't recognize them, I hang up and then block them. Now, sometimes I just feel like I just want to mess around with them. So I'll just, kind of play around. What's your name and all that kind of stuff. And I go through that kind of stuff and then be like, oh man, I have a rep. just to see who they are, or what it is that they're offering, or why is it, if you're offering it on a wide band like that, there's no way that you could accommodate everyone to be getting such a big discount and stuff without giving up something, without the person or the client being able or having to give up something, especially when it comes to prescriptions, dental, and eye care. And that's very important to seniors. It's very important to make sure that they can hear, they can see, and that their mouth and everything is taken care of, because, you know, if your mouth is not taken care of, you can certainly get a terminal illness that could take you out of here if it's not. So, Cherita, with all of that being said, I was just trying to cap a little bit, but with all that being said, kind of give us some information on, or some instructions on how we can fix it, or how we can report those people, and how can they get in contact with you if they did not get or understand everything that you gave us this evening.
Okay, so first I want to tell everyone, make sure that if they call you on the phone, ask them what agency they're calling from, ask them for their name, write it down, and when you write it down, you can call the Office of Inspector General, which is 1-800-447-8477, okay? If you have questions and you want to reach me, you can call me at, my name is Cherita Odums. It's 215-266-7889. So understand that I do all the plans in the Philadelphia area. It's none that I don't do. So I already study. I know what plan has what benefit, and I normally know what benefit is being offered. And if another company is offering you something better, I can usually tell you. I also suggest that everyone get their own personal agent to help you with all the medical questions and concerns, because we have to study for each company. We have to take the test, study for each company, learn the benefits. All of this we have to do every year by October 15th for every single company that we represent. So anybody that is your agent should be able to tell you whatever you need to know about your plan for the new year. They can't talk to you about it until October 15th, but by October 15th, they should be able to tell you everything about the plan that you're in, and if there's a better plan for you, or if it's something you're specifically looking for, be sure to ask them. I'm looking for this benefit for dental. I don't like my eye benefit. I need better eye. Whatever it is that you need, ask them for it, and they should be able to do it. But you should really entrust your own agent more than the television, more than Joe Namath, Jimmy Walker, Danny Glover, anybody you see. Your agent should be the person that you speak to, and that's why it's so important to have your own agent.
Oh, thank you. Now I want you to repeat something for me. I want you to repeat the number for the for yourself and for the Office of
Inspector General.
Right.
Okay. So the Office of Inspector General, they call it OIG. It's 1-800-447-8477. Once again, get the name of the agency they're calling from, and get their name and write it down, and then call the Office of Inspector General. For me, my name is Cherita Odums. The number is area code 215-266-7889. And I also have an 800 number, which is 818-445-8436. I can be reached at either one of those numbers I'm usually open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. And you can call me at any time if you have questions about a plan, questions about what you have, if you think you need to change something, anything like that. I am always available to answer any of those questions. And once again, once you have an agent, it doesn't necessarily have to be me, but make sure that you're talking to your agent about your plan. My customers call me every year to ask me about whatever they have, and if they're not satisfied, well, what can I do to make it better? And I'll make sure that I tell them what'll be better. And that's what having an agent, your own agent, will do for you, instead of going through the television or anything like that. If you want to know about if you can get money back, your agent should be able to tell you, based on what they should know, based on your income, what you can get back. It's very important that you have somebody that you talk to, and don't fall for the inbound phone calls or the outbound phone calls, because it's just been a nightmare trying to deal with it.
Wow, thank you. And listen, and I call Cherita all the time, all year.
Yes, you do.
In the middle year, because I have questions all the time. But I wanted everybody to be able to get that information, to be comfortable in what it is that they're going to be dealing with the rest of their life. And so if you know seniors that don't have anyone there that could advocate for them, or that is living living alone, make sure that you get the information to them or their caregiver or someone that makes decisions for them in terms of their health care. Well, it's coming to an end now, and so we're going to have to say goodnight. But guess what? I just always want you to remember, you always have an advocate. And so if you cannot get Cherita, if you cannot get her on any of those numbers, you can email us or look on our website and get her information. And so if not, just kind of give us some information, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, or I'm just looking for Cherita, and we should be able to give her number out to you so that you will be able to contact her. So I want to say good night to you. I want you to be safe. I can't wait to talk to you next week. And Cherita, sure. I want to thank you so much for just being part and coming and sharing with us on the Primetime Power Show. It's specifically on from a woman's perspective. I love you. I love you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. Thank you so much, Cherita. Once again, the O Insurance Group, LLC. They actually have a web banner ad on our homepage, primetimepowershow.com. So you can go right to our website, get all the contact details, and get in touch with her. We thank you for your time. Great interview, great information.